Hi, welcome to the Oak Trader Report on the 17th of November. These stocks were actually put together on Tuesday the 12th, and I'm recording this now on the 17th. Just a few stocks I've found in London and a couple of stocks from the American agricultural products sector as well. This one's listed in London, denominated by the .ls there. YouGov PLC, ticker symbol YOU. It looks to have shaped up nicely from the lower base, and it's moved up to the second level tier, and it's had a move up, and we could see it develop from here. A similar sort of pattern, if you look where my mouse is, could develop here, but it looks to be in a pretty decent uptrend at the moment. Although I would say, again, if you use this line here from the base, draw a line up, if it breaks below where the mouse is there, the 70, then perhaps sell out and wait for a better position, and that's exactly what I intend to do if it does break this downtrend, because that maybe suggests that it might accumulate or something else might happen to this stock over the next year or two. But so long as it sticks to this uptrend and doesn't break the 70 level, then I'll stay long. Ticker symbol XTR. Again, big downtrend broken. Looks to have developed a sort of decent base, but again, it's a really low price stock, a bit wild, bit of a penny stock here. And again, you've got a Head and Shoulders, and these are the types of stocks where you can't trust fully. The spread's going to be a little bit wide on this, but it does look to be okay. And again, if it breaks from this, if you draw a line, if it breaks up out of that consolidation area, this second level consolidation, that will be my signal to go long the market. Ticker symbol XEL. Another one on the watch list. It seems to be making some sort of triangular pattern here. Perhaps we'll see a shakeout out of this. If you draw a line here, flat top, and then you've got the triangular pattern. Again, if it breaks that triangle pattern, that will be the signal if you are trying to anticipate the market rather than let the analysis and the price action guide you to trade. But if you are jumping in, then if it does break that downtrend, it would be worth selling out and holding on just in case it has a further dip down, and it could last an extended period of time. But it does look okay here. It's making higher highs, but it hasn't gone above this level, but this area looks pretty good. But again, it hasn't been long enough really to suggest huge confidence, but it's shaping up quite nicely, and it's one to watch. Just here on the monthly, again the ticker symbol XEL, and you can see the previous action. That's why I wanted to load it up before. You had a very decent rise up, huge spikes up, distribution, and then the markdown, and perhaps we're going to see the same again. But if you look back to here, you had the accumulation, the step up, the accumulation, the step up. It really took time to gain momentum and move up, and this is where you saw the distribution in the stock. Again at the top of the commodity. Boom. Ticker symbol XCH. Long downtrend broken here. It's quite a new stock, and that's why I've got it here. Otherwise it just wouldn't cut the mustard. It really hasn't been in any sort of accumulation for a long time, and it's broken this downtrend, which once it's done that, is a signal that it could be going further on the upside, because it does try and trick people when it breaks the uptrends on the first one, and big moves we do tend to see from this. But again, I'll be waiting here at the 120 level, the pivotal point. If it moves back below that, I'll sell out and be patient, because I don't want to hold on to this for a couple of years. But it's looking pretty nice at the moment. Little bit of a curve action, and if you draw a line here, once it breaks out of that substantially around the 140 level, I'd be more confident that it would be involved in a sustained uptrend. For the moment it's on the watch list, but because it's a new stock, that's why I've got it on here. Otherwise, if it was listed, as I said, for say 10-15 years, this sort of accumulation really wouldn't suffice. Ticker symbol WTE. Now I just wanted to put this on here. If you draw a line here, you see it hasn't broken the downtrend. It's broken a couple here, but if you draw a line along there, it's still in a downtrend, and this is why sometimes you shouldn't anticipate You can see here no real accumulation action. The action here wasn't long enough, and you can see the action here, it's dropped back down below that. Now once it breaks these gradual downtrends, then I'll feel confident about going long, but this is why it's so important to be patient and to wait for the price action to confirm that the technical picture is changing in the stock, rather than trying to anticipate it and jump in just because it looks like accumulation, looks like professional buying. Wait for the actual price action to confirm it, and if you draw a line, you can see that the action here hasn't really been happening for any sustained length of time. So once it breaks that gradual downtrend, I'll look to perhaps go long this stock for a little while and see what happens from there. Ticker symbol WBS, West Bromwich Building Society. This is what we call a dog. This stock suffered during the mortgage crisis in the UK, very similar to what happened over there in America, and it's just been base action in ever since, and it's quite a small cap, not much action going on, hardly any volume at the moment, but it does look to be being accumulated. Perhaps it's a buyout target, it could be quite a prime target for someone looking to consolidate in that area of the UK, and it's shaping up perhaps for quite a big move here, and I would just watch this. You know, if you draw a line along there, it seems to this action here seems to have broken that downtrend, but again we'll just have to be a bit patient here. You see, if you draw a long line, the consolidation area and a line here, once it breaks out of that sideways channel, that might be a clue that the move will be sustained, just like it broke out here and it wasn't sustained. But sometimes I like to see that before a big move starts. Quite often, you know, it has what I call a Pavlov dog technique, where it trains people. The next time it spikes up, anyone who was involved in this before is going to think it's going to come down pretty quickly and sell out, whereas the thing to do would be to hold on and see if it really does break out much higher. And I think this one's shaping up to be a very nice trade, but we'll just have to wait and see how the price action develops. Onto the American stocks in the agricultural product sector, ticker symbol BG, quite a famous stock here. And again, the tight consolidations, draw a line, broken that. Sometimes we don't see bases, and this stock maybe nothing to do with it being accumulated. I'm sure it has sponsors, but it seems to have broken out of this pattern here with this spike up, and then it immediately came back down, which is a good sign, and now it's moved higher than the previous spike, which looks to be the start of quite perhaps a volatile spike upwards. We'll have to wait and see. I much prefer trading a long-term flat line that's been snaking along the bottom, but this seems to be in a nice uptrend. You've got higher highs here and lower lows, which is a good sign that an uptrend's developing. And if you draw a line along there, you know, if you use the figure of around sort of 73 as your guide, if it breaks down below that, perhaps sell out and wait flat the market for price action to decide what position to take next. But it is looking quite nice here, and it does look like it's going to develop into a nice uptrend. So it's one to watch in the next week or two. Ticker symbol MON, Monsanto Company. They're a very popular company all around the world. A lot of people would like to see their demise, the suicide siege, the Agent Orange, the suing of farmers, you know, the list of, you know, misdemeanors or criminality by this company really is quite endless. But just strictly from a stock point of view, it looks to be developing a nice uptrend here. It's broken out of the head and shoulders here. Consolidation areas. It looks to have spiked up a high here, which anyone who follows the market too closely, they hate to buy in when it's going at a high, because they always remember the prices here and here, and they can't bring themselves psychologically to buy it here. They'll always wait for a shakeout to buy it again, perhaps if it drops to 100, but sometimes these markets just carry on and they won't see 100 again for a while. But you know, there's been no real accumulation action of such, but what happens is during these crises, investors dump shares, and this is where perhaps not sponsors but more long-term investors, and they hold the stock, and it becomes tighter and tighter, and that's where it develops quite a pronounced uptrend. So it's looking pretty good for the future to sustain that uptrend. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a parabolic move soon, maybe up to 120, 130, and perhaps to distribute again, or maybe go much higher. But again, the price action, once it breaks this uptrend, that'll be the time to sell, when you start seeing a little bit of wild volatility. It may not be as wild as this particular section of the market in 2007 and 2008, simply because there's less public participation in the market at the moment, so you have to adjust for the times, but you should be able to see some wild swings, wilder than where my mouse is here. And once that develops and it does break this uptrend, that'll be the time to sell out and be flat the market, and perhaps to take a short position on this company. Ticker symbol ANDE. Just wanted to show you the base action here from 97. You've got some great movement here, developing into a powerful base. The first step up, and then the uptrend, and then the first shakeout, which convinces people to get out of the market, shakes people out, and then you have what's known as the big spike up, and then the distribution and the markdown, and then another market cycle once the stock has become a good stock, or once it's got rid of the people it's needed to get rid of during that shakeout. And you see the line here where it's crossed, it's in an uptrend, and I would say, somewhere around maybe the 85 or 90 level, that this will distribute. When markets go up like this, as this action here where my mouse was back in 2006, it never lasts for long, 100%. So you want to see something that's sustained. You see where my mouse is here in 2003, edging up nice and slow, a bit steeper. The gradient of the uptrend is becoming more pronounced. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see a parabolic move like this. And if you were long this stock, I'd be not worried, but looking out for the price action to develop to sell out. Because once it does break, I would say this steep uptrend here where my mouse is, if you start the trend from this mouse all the way up to there, so around the sort of 70 to 75 level, after we've seen some big volatility, volume, and also price swings, that will be a good signal that this market is distributing and is ready to go down. Never try and short a parabolic market, because you may well be right, but it might go up to 100, 120. Sometimes in a short squeeze the market really does spike, so you have to be so careful where you pick short positions. And that's why you always wait for the distribution action, the volatility, and also for it to break the uptrend, the steep uptrend as well. Ticker symbol GMK. Just wanted to show you some nice consolidation action on the 5-year weekly. If you draw a line along there and then draw a line down there, great flat top triangle, and it broke up out of that for the the second level of the consolidation. Again, if you draw a line here, along here, and along here, flat top triangle, and it breaks up, and the trend from here is becoming more pronounced, a lot steeper, and it always ends with a parabolic move. It doesn't quite look like it's going parabolic at the moment. It's almost there. I mean, sometimes they don't end with huge parabolic moves, so you've got to be very careful not to be fooled by the Pavlov dog technique with looking too much into patterns. Sometimes the trend lines here, if you draw a line along here all the way up, use that as your guide. Once that's broken and you see a little bit of volatility here, that's always a good sign that the market's ready to at least shake out, and you don't want to be long that stock. And it's also, once you've been in a stock, that goes from 6 to sort of 26 in the space of a year and a half to 2 years, you really don't want to be too greedy. Not every stock turns out like Apple in the heyday, or Microsoft, back in the 80s. And that's one of the things. You can't be too greedy. You've got to look at the market and judge it by its action, not what you read in the newspaper. Okay, that's it for now, and I'll look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.